News, rumors and opinions Sunday, November 23, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. KTFA. Hennig. Emo. You guys know you can fix this, right? In fact, from previous articles, we know something's in the works. How long do you all want to play this game? Iraq's economy nearing breaking point. Expert says the 22nd of November 2025 039 Shafaq News. Baghdad, Iraq is heading toward a major economic shock. Economist Manar al-Obeidi warned on Saturday, citing decades of structural neglect and the government's reliance on short-term remedies. In a post on Facebook, al-Obeidi accused officials of promoting an economic illusion that Iraq can overcome its fiscal crisis. Without deep reform, even as essential services near collapse, water and food security deteriorate, and financial reserves shrink. He cautioned that policymakers are likely to choose temporary fixes again, relying on increased cash issuance, more borrowing, or expanded consumption-driven spending instead of structural change. The next government, he warned, faces a binary choice: either initiate painful restructuring, cutting operating costs, reforming subsidies, and rebalancing public spending, or delay once more and aggravate long-term damage. Reform will provoke public anger, but delaying it will make the eventual collapse far harsher, he said, urging decision-makers to prioritize sustainability over short-term approval. Iraq's economy has long depended on oil for over 90% of state revenue, leaving the country highly exposed to price fluctuations, while a swollen public payroll, heavy subsidies, and minimal private sector participation have drained resources without creating sustainable growth. Hennig. Emo. Frank says that Iraq almost always underreports their gold acquisitions. With that being the case, did they really only purchase 6 tons of gold in Q3 2025? Iraq purchases 6 tons of gold in Q3 2025-2025-112205. 55 Shafaq News, Baghdad. Iraq added 6 tons of gold to its reserves in the third quarter of this year, the World Gold Council reported on Saturday. The council said global central banks drove gold demand during the quarter after a slowdown in the first half of the year, bringing net purchases to about 220 tons. Despite a nearly 50% surge in gold prices since January and new all-time highs, the report noted that central banks continue to accumulate the metal as a strategic reserve asset. Iraq's latest purchase raises its total gold holdings to 170 tons. Kazakhstan was the largest buyer in the third quarter, adding 18 tons to reach 324 tons in reserves. Brazil followed, with a 15-ton purchase in September, lifting its total to 145 tons. Turkey increased its official reserves by 7 tons, bringing its holdings to 641 tons, while China's central bank added 5 tons, the Czech National Bank 5 tons, and Ghana 4 tons. Only 2 countries reported reductions: Uzbekistan, which cut 3 tons, and Qatar, which reduced its reserves by 1 ton. Frank 26 question. When Iraqi citizens get their purchasing power, would the rest of the world who holds dinar also be able to exchange at the new rate? The moment the CBI releases it, boom, the world gets it. It'll go straight to Forex, every bank, every exchange center. Everybody will receive it instantly. MNT GOAT. If all goes well with the swap out of the notes in Iraq, and inflation remains low in Iraq, we can expect the next stage of the plan to include the reinstatement back to Forex sometime in January. There is just too much adding up that this may actually be our time frame. Militiaman, everything they're doing is controlled, and I'm glad to see it because I want success. I want you to be successful. I want all of us to be successful. This Newsweek article is a green light. Quote, Iraq is stable, growing and ready, and the world should pay attention. Exactly, 100%. We all had patience. Some for a couple years, some just happened to be here today. Many of us have been here for 15, 20 years. I knew what I owned, so I stuck with it. I believe the country is going to be what it's showing to be. It's filthy rich. $16 trillion worth of natural resources has my attention. It's unbelievable, and that's why I'm here. Huge gold news coming from the Fed. If you own gold, Watch this now. Rafi Farber. The metal mindset. November 22, 2025. A strange kind of tension is running through the markets right now. The sort that makes everything twitchy even when nothing obvious has happened. That's the backdrop Rafi Farber is talking about. In his view, the dollar is sitting at a fork in the road, and the Fed hasn't committed to either branch. As long as policymakers avoid that choice, the entire system trades like it's over-caffeinated. Gold can jump $100 and cough it back the next day. Miners dive because Nvidia has a bad session. Bitcoin leverage unwinds and drags unrelated sectors with it. Margin connects everything, and debt amplifies every small move. What this really means is that volatility is the default until the Fed decides whether it's going to suppress deflation with liquidity or tolerate higher inflation to keep the gears turning. Farber's take is that the outcome is already locked in. The Fed will print. It always does at the edge of a deflationary cliff. But until the moment they stop hesitating, markets will keep whipping around in tight, manic loops. From there he pushes into a deeper point. The dollar price of gold isn't the key metric. The real issue is when people simply won't accept dollars for their gold anymore. That's the failure mode he's outlining, a currency that loses credibility faster than wages can adjust, where debts stop meaning anything and the system jams. In that environment, dollar-denominated prices don't just rise, they detach from reality. People fall back on whatever actually holds value and can circulate without depending on trust in a central authority. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.